Hi, this is the weekly video recap where I take a look at the euro dollar, pound dollar, and whether we're going to get a break or retrace or perhaps both in this week and the last few days, in fact, of September. We'll take a look at these pairs, but first of all, be aware that this video is intended for a global audience and may not be suitable for everyone. Therefore, take a look at animalmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence, and contact an appropriate entity to find out more about that. Also, trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk and may not be suitable for everyone. Therefore, please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This video is for educational and informational purposes only, and by continuing watching this webinar or video, you agree with this disclaimer and you are aware of the risk involved when trading. So, my vision for this week, when looking at the pound dollar daily chart, we can see of this green support trend line, and in fact, a hook back. Look at that, a very sweet break, in fact. And then the hook back to that same resistance spot, back to the moving averages, and using that as a bouncing spot for further downside. So it looks like a break, pullback, continuation scenario, and with already a downtrend in play when looking at the weekly chart, you can see that very clearly, very strong momentum. I would not be surprised if this is just a retracement for more downside. That could be very, very, logical, in fact, with a 50 pip bounce. So from that point of view, I would expect a continuation of that downtrend to happen right now, especially if price is able to break through this bottom, which is still a sturdy level at 151. So if I into the 4-hour chart, what I'm looking for basically is either a bit of a bounce, because we are at a pretty strong support level, and a bounce could happen back to perhaps a 50 fib. You can see here we had a 78.6 fib bounce as well. So if I move the fib to the next swing high, swing low, all right, here, a retracement just because of that support level is something that could happen, and I would expect resistance at the 38.2 fib, 50 or 61.8, any of these fibs in fact, for a continuation of that downtrend. That's what I'm looking for. I'll be looking for shorts at those levels. Now, if price doesn't make a retracement and instead breaks the support level without going that deeply back up, then the potential time frame for further downside, and I'll put back the fib that I had in fact here, and there's a price to get to the target, which is 150. A break below 150 could mean down to 147.80-ish, 147. So that's my opinion on the pound dollar. Before looking at others, take a look at this schedule, our lineup of this week. We got weekly FX recap and price action school with Nenet on support and resistance Wednesday and Monday today. Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to take a look at moving average trading. We're definitely looking forward to that. And also strategy on Wednesday. Thursday and tonight together take a look at pattern hunting in Forex. Patterns, of course, very important within Forex. Just like support and resistance and trends, pattern is a very crucial part of trading. So let's focus on the euro dollar. My opinion on the euro dollar. Well, bearish, basically. I'll be very simple with this. It is right at a support level, and it did bounce Friday at that support level for a bit of a rally up, about almost 100 pips. But if the trend line breaks, I do see a potential space to the target and the next support trend line at confluence level of 110, which is obviously a psychological round level as well. So for me, an intra-week downside trade, breakout trade, would be between 111 and 110. A break below 110 would mean a potential for the next target to be hit, the minus 61.8 target at 109, and perhaps even below 109, the potential to go to the daily bottom right here, and that's this trend line at close to 108. So that's the bearish potential, and considering this bearish movement, that is, I think, a decent possibility it could happen this week. Now, if it doesn't break, how about the potential still for a bounce? Let me zoom into the 1-hour chart. Basically, if this trend line doesn't break, perhaps it could still hold one more time. I'm not trading that, but if it does, then there could be a bit of a smaller rally, perhaps to 112.50 again, this 50 fib again, or the 61, or any of these fibs, and trend line here as well. All of these spots still remain resistance in my opinion, and a smaller correction. And to me, the 112.75, the 113.25, 113.75, all of those seem like good resistance spots. I would be looking for shorts at those levels for further downside in this downtrend. Either resistance looking for shorts or breakouts looking for shorts basically on the euro dollar. That's my view for this week. This is the dollar yen 4-hour chart. You can see price in a pretty long consolidation here all the time since the end of August, reaching a whopping 46 days in the meantime, with a narrow triangle, contracting triangle. And this could be definitely a triangle. This could be an A, B, C, D, E. And E could be finished. Now E cannot go above C if it is a contracting triangle, which automatically makes this C top at 121.30 in the validation level. A break above that would throw this contracting triangle out of the window, would not be valid anymore. We came close actually, right? Price here reaching up 121.22.5, but not breaking that C point. So that contracting triangle is still a potential there. And if that is finishing E, then D here could indicate a pretty substantial downside potential in my opinion. Because in this case, if it is a contracting triangle that finishes here with E, then the bearishness could indicate something like this. All right, so from that point of view, could be an interesting downside potential. Now, in the meantime, it's still in the triangle, so there's no confirmation that that could happen. Really, the trend line, the support trend line here would have to break before there's a bit more evidence of a downside break. Now, personally, I'm not trading that break. What I'll be looking for is, if it does break, what I'll be looking for is the pullback. And I'll be interested in trading or trying to trade that pullback for further downside. That's my plan. The break, but waiting for the pullback. And then continuation trade. So that's what I'll be waiting for this particular moment. Upside, not looking for upside at the moment. But if it does break, obviously, I would have to reevaluate the situation and see what's going on. Perhaps there's a bullish triangle taking place. But all in all, I'm just cautious with the dollar yen because it's such a long consolidation zone that it's not really appealing unless it breaks to the downside. AUDUSD, we did get the rejection bars last week, spoke about the fact that it could make that dip just because of that price action, just because of the fact we see big wicks. And of course, Aussie is in a big downtrend on the weekly chart. Let me show you that quickly. You can see just looking at the candles here very quickly that this is a downtrend. All right, not too difficult. So from that point of view, it did indeed make that downside. I was talking about this level as a potential bouncing spot, but it didn't have it lower, but we are having two bullish daily candles. So that could be a bouncing spot. Now, considering the trend, I'm not personally trading that. I like the euro and pound a bit more, even the dollar yen perhaps actually. But if it does make a bit of a bounce, I wouldn't be surprised. This support trend line could of course also be used for breakout to the downside. Potentially a reversal correction as well. But as soon as it slams into this zone, I would say it's again a resistance spot. Let's face it, downtrend still in play. So that could easily be again a resistance in the trend line and these entire daily candles, in fact, right? That could be resistance. So that basically, I think I really want to add on the Aussie, I think. There is some divergence between these daily bottoms, perhaps. So ultimately, even trace higher, maybe to retest this support level up in here, right there, right? And that could be an equilibrium point. So if it breaks above that zone that I just talked about right in here, then that could be a potential actually to go up to the next resistance level, right? So I would say those are the lines in the sand right there when looking at the Aussie daily chart. Well, folks, thanks for checking out my opinion for this week on the Forex market. I hope to see you in the webinars and hope to see you also checking out our content and Animal Market social media. Thanks again. I wish you good trading. Cheers.